So I started SPICE in 2022. It was a summer-long 5-week program because of COVID at the time. It was virtual, but usually held in Barbados. And I think from there, I really became inspired to achieve and accomplish my goals and know that it was possible even though we're from the Caribbean, even though we may not have the same resources. And I believe the mentors I made, so Dr. Sa and Professor Cardinal Ward, they both guided me to apply to colleges, how to get financial aid, what scholarships are available, what opportunities are available in the STEM field. And since doing SPICE, there's still some of the closest mentors I have. I'm still emailing them, checking in, and they're very beneficial in not only helping me figure out my career, but also just personal life, how to grow as a person, and they've done a great job at that. My parents owned an electronics store, so I was around a lot of different electronics. I was around a lot of STEM fields, and then my mom was also always very interested in science and math, and she'd make me sit down and do the times tables in grade 1. And so since then I really liked math and I really liked science, but I wanted to be a doctor at first. Actually, it wasn't until Form 2 I realized that engineering was a field that I could perhaps be interested in. And I realized that I think I did my first coding workshop in Form 1 in December time. I attended a week-long coding program and I realized, oh wait, this is something that's really cool. I get to make something. Through that program, I was introduced to SPICE. And so once I completed Form 5, I applied to it. And once I got in, I learned so much more about STEM and building. And I was finally concrete, okay, I want to be an engineer. And I continued pursuing that path. So I did physics and chemistry. Something I'm really interested in is probably getting my PhD in medical robotics and helping bring that back home, especially low-cost, accessible robotics. Not everything has to be very fancy robotics, but seeing how that can improve our healthcare system back home. The thing that I take most pride in, and it's something that was also ingrained in me in SPICE, is that something Dr. Sa said is that when you leave this program, when you accomplish whatever you have to accomplish in your career, make sure you give back to the Caribbean and make sure you give back to students the same opportunities you were given. And that's something I've strived to do, even though right now limited with resources through the robotics programs, through making sure that there's future robotics teams and helping out with that, as well as ensuring that there's at least some talk about what robotics is, what opportunities are present for STEM in the Caribbean, and making sure that there is advocacy for that and ensuring that students do know that it exists. Reach out even if you feel like someone's gonna say no. That has been something I try to live by. Even if I send out a cold email and I don't think I have the qualifications, the worst they can say is no, and that way you've not stopped yourself from what you can achieve. And I think that is maybe the best piece of advice I can give anyone coming up. STEM is important because it somewhat helps impact the community. It helps makes things easier, makes things more accessible for persons of various backgrounds. But on top of that, it also promotes creativity. To build those things, it is, as much as it seems like, oh, this is all science and math, it takes a lot of creativity, it takes a lot of imagination. And it's so important that our youth explore STEM, because not only are they building problem solving and analytical skills, they're building something, they're building their future essentially. They're building ways to help themselves, they're building ways to help others in their community. And it's such a good way to give back while also really stimulating your mind and learning more. So I think this is why STEM is the most important thing.